Good morning and welcome to my 10 o'clock morning Corona poem slot, which has now become a really important part of my day. And today is day 26 of these poems, and I'm really appreciating the feedback that I'm getting about the choice of poems and the requests for people who have suddenly quite often remembered a poem that they too haven't thought about for many years. And today is another such poem. For me, I was minded last night listening once again to the 5 o'clock briefing, Stay at Home, which of course is absolutely the right message in this horrendous pandemic that we're experiencing. But you can't help but think, well, how is it for people that don't have a home? How is it if you're stuck somewhere that you don't intend to be? How is it if you are in temporary accommodation? How is it for you if you're in a situation of conflict, stuck somewhere with someone that you don't want to be with? Or somewhere where it's just not possible to socially distance. So just, having a little think about that brought my attention to this poem, The Old Woman of the Roads by Padraic Colum, an Irish poet. I used to learn poetry by heart and recite it when I was a child and in my early teens, and used to take part in festivals all over the country where we would recite and present poetry. And it was part of a growing up for me that was really brilliant in terms of introducing me to art and poetry in a way that maybe other things hadn't. So today's poem is The Old Woman of the Roads by Padraic Colum. Oh, to have a little house, to own the hearth and stool and all, the heaped up sods against the fire, the pile of turf against the wall. To have a clock with weights and chains and pendulum swinging up and down, a dresser filled with shining delf, speckled and white and blue and brown. I could be busy all the day, clearing and sweeping hearth and floor, and fixing on their shelf again my white and blue and speckled store. I could be quiet there at night, beside the fire and by myself, sure of a bed and loath to leave the ticking clock and the shining delf. Oh, but I'm weary of mist and dark, and roads where there's never a house nor bush, and tired I am of bog and road, and the crying wind and the lonesome hush. And I am praying to God on high, and I am praying him night and day for a little house, a house of my own, out of the winds and the rain's way. So that's my little poetry offering for this morning. Do please have a thought about some that you might like to share. I've just received a couple now and I'm looking forward. Thank you, Debbie, for yours. I shall read it for you tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone, and stay safe.